We've got two pillars. One is sustainability and one is inclusiveness.
I like the independence of being a business leader. I like the responsibility of it. I like the fact that it all comes down to me.
It's got to be social media.
How did I know you were going to say that?
I love it. I love Twitter. I love the randomness of it all.
Right. One of the sweetest feelings I've had is when we actually put this prototype or a vertical slice in front of the clients and said, have a look at that, and hearing their jaws drop.
Let's have a look. Bright.
Thank you.
Yes, please, thank you. I used to have those on my shoes.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, it was dead cool then.
Yeah. Through the laces of your Dr. Martens.
That's it. Didn't even drink beer at the time.
So, shall I start?
Yay.
Caroline, what does your business stand for and what is it against?
For and against. Okay, so
30 seconds.
Good point. We've got two pillars. One is sustainability and one is inclusiveness. So we try and be as sustainable as possible. We've got a cooperative car scheme that we use, which fortunately is right outside our office. So you can use that, and we use the trains as much as possible, and cycle to work scheme, all that kind of thing. And we try and make sure that's built into the whole process of what we do. So what we do is mainly digital work.
Yeah.
So that people receive a digital thing and they go and get the amount that they want printed or whatever.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Have a look. So, what do you like about being a business leader? Shall I give you the same again, 1 minute?
Okay. I like the independence of being a business leader. I like the responsibility of it. I like the fact that it all comes down to me. In a way, it's more difficult because, if you like, there's no one else I can blame if things go wrong. But on the other hand, it does mean when things go well, I can say, yeah, I did that. Although I have to say that I do like to give credit to my team. I think it's really important to always remember that without having good people working for me, then I'm essentially nobody. I'm just a guy at a desk. And so, you know, and I like that. I actually enjoy working with creative people. That's probably one of the biggest perks of my job, is that I get a lot of really talented and creative people, and I get to just basically let them do what they do, and my job is really just to sort of try and direct traffic as much as possible, really, and just let them, as much as I can, let them do their own thing. That's really rewarding for me.
This is what I like about language, though. Business leader. Do you consider yourself a business leader, or do you consider yourself a businessman, business person?
Business Führer. Caroline, this one's for a minute. What's your morning ritual like?
Okay, so what I do in the morning is I wake up about 6:20. Have about 20 minutes in bed, get up and out the door for 7, take the dog out for a walk for an hour. Sometimes go for a swim with the dog, sometimes just walk the dog. Come back at 8, washed and dressed, and get ready to go to work for 9.
Okay, cute.
Okay, let's have a look at, this one says impulsive.
Oh, great, that's me.
Are you impulsive?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay, let's try this one. So, Tony, when you get home, what makes you feel like you've had a successful day? And I'll give you 2 minutes on this one.
Okay. I guess if I get home before about 6 or 7 o'clock, that's normally quite a successful day. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, I do work, unfortunately, because of the nature of my work, I do work with a lot of people, for example, in the States, which means that my working day, although I leave the office, doesn't actually finish when I get home, because I'll often be on conference calls and things like that with clients, etc. in the United States. So probably for me, it's not so much about when you get home as when you switch the PC off. What makes me feel like I've had a successful day.
Do you have a massive tick list that you kind of tick off?
I used to. My work used to be a little bit more free-fall than that, and it's only since the work has really started picking up and that I've got multiple threads to track.
Sure.
That I've had to do that more and more. Before it was just a case of, right, I've got one job to do, I know how to do it, I know how to make sure that everybody else is working on that. And now, simply because of the way my own business has changed, it's more about tracking multiple threads. And I have to say, one of the downsides of that is sometimes it can be quite hard to switch off. You know, sometimes the working day does extend quite a long way into the evening. When I finally switch the PC off and think, right, you know, I've understood what it is that a client wants, I've successfully tracked down a lead, or I've concluded some kind of deal with somebody, then I can say, right, that's added to the business, you know. So long as I've done something where I feel like this is definitely added to the function of my business, then that's a good day.
Brilliant.
I'll give one for you then. Would you like inspired or bright?
Go for inspired.
Okay then. Caroline, what do you do when you're procrastinating? Name your go-to distractions, and I'll give you 1 minute for that.
Oh my goodness, it's got to be social media. I love it.
How did I know you were going to say that?
I love it. I love Twitter. I love the randomness of it all.
Right.
And seeing what other people are doing around the world, you know. It feels, you know, you can feel a bit isolated down here in Cornwall because we don't have the giant billboards. Right. We don't have the flyers. We don't have the Metro or the Evening Standard. You know what? Yeah. But it's just a way, you know, so you can feel slightly separated. We're on the kind of edge geographically, and we're on the edge technologically, and we're on the edge of the, do you know what I mean? So you might feel that you're not quite connected with everybody else. But like Twitter gives me the kind of opportunity to connect with my peers around the world, and it's a very niche, you know what I mean? Yeah. So to be able to talk to other people who are doing similar things in different countries, in different ways, with different technology, is just a real eye-opener, you know. There's always, every day's a learning day.
Right, okay.
Cool, let's have a look. Bright.
Thank you.
Describe your biggest triumph as a business owner, and I'll give you 2 minutes.
As a business owner?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say the biggest triumph that I actually had came before I set myself up in business, which is I was doing kind of as a hobby what I'm now doing as a business owner. In that I was running a team of developers, creating a game for release for a real life studio who decided to, if you like, trust a bunch of amateurs like us with the development of a game. And I don't think they expected too much of us. So for me, one of the sweetest feelings I've had during my time working in computer games development is when we actually put this prototype or a vertical slice in front of a client who was expecting absolutely nothing of us and said, have a look at that, and hearing their jaws drop. And that was a great feeling, and I have to say that you know, I'm quite new. We're just starting to branch out into developing our own IP, and I am really looking forward to hearing the sound of jaws dropping when our own product comes out there, and you know, and it's all for us. It's all for my company. It's all for Kerno Interactive. Rather than for a client. So
how long have you been in business?
Right.
Have you ever been an employee, or have you always run your own
God,
stuff?
yeah. I was. I've had a variety of jobs before I decided to go out there and set up a company making video games, I was actually a teacher. I spent 15 years teaching English. And yeah, particularly the kind of language schools I was working at, where you were on 0 hours contracts and things like that. It was a real relief to get away from that. For me, the getting into the games industry was a chance to move away from that, a chance to be my own boss, and yeah, essentially be responsible for my own sort of well-being and for the work that I do. So yeah, that was a great move, really. I don't regret that at all. After 15 years of teaching, you know, I loved teaching and I loved my students, but it was getting old, and, you know, 0 hours contracts.
Yeah, you can't rely on that, can you?
Okay, one for you. Name one goal for this year. I'll give you a minute.
One goal this year. So our kind of main aim at the moment is to get a large contract. We've done some work before overseas for Qatar. So the equivalent of the Ordnance Survey here in the UK, we did that for the Qatari government.
Okay.
So taking data in, so land survey data, geological data, environmental data, and making maps with it.
Okay.
And then making sure that that process was able to be repeated again and again with new sources of data. Okay. So that was a really good project, and we want to do more of that. So we want to get at least one. Right. That's our kind of goal for the year. So
is that going to involve a lot of travel for you?
Well, we've got some irons in the fire at the moment.
Okay. Better not say too much.
Yeah, it's kind of like working in the Middle East again, but right. For clients again based in the UK, which is what we've done before. So we're subcontractors. So that's kind of works well. So we've got 2 or 3 jobs like that, which hopefully, you know, next time I see you, be able to say, yeah,
okay, well,
we've achieved our goal.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
That was the last book, and the end. The end.
The end.
Do we have one that says the end?